Are you a busy parent? Do you feel like you're being pulled in multiple directions all at once? Are you exhausted and overwhelmed? Meet my mom. Her name is Santi Tenikela. She's a pediatrician, expert in mind-body medicine, and a life coach. She can help you break free from guilt and overwhelm so that you can enjoy the life that you've worked so hard to create. She can also teach you how to support your family in a more holistic way.
Welcome to episode 26. So it's been a minute since we received the results of our recent election. I learned of the results of our election in the early hours of November 6th on TV screens in the airport while I was waiting for a flight. And there I was, sitting in shock, thinking, not again. And while I scanned our group as we were getting ready to board, my eyes met those of a supporter, as I could tell from his hoodie, and he just looked at me. And I lowered my eyes. I kept my distance. And I thought to myself, not again. I could feel the waves of anger, resentment, disdain just flood my body. Am I going to have to face another 4 years of microaggressions or outright discrimination due to my color, my gender, my culture, or even my name? Well, I scrolled through posts on Instagram and Facebook that morning, again, trying not to make eye contact with others as my confidence wavered for just a moment there. And I saw that I wasn't the only one who shared this sentiment or sat in grief and shock. In the past 2 weeks, articles are posting everywhere regarding this topic. So many of us are expressing our feelings surrounding what our election results mean for us as individuals and as a collective nation, about the morals and the values that we hold close to our hearts. And some of us, the best of us, are in such a state of shock that they are questioning whether the good values they hold even matter. I'm not here today to talk about politics. There are some things that are within our control, and there are some that are outside of our control. We had control over who we voted for. We did our part. Maybe it worked out in our favor, and maybe it didn't. But moving forward, I want to remind you that we also have control over how we conduct ourselves and how we want to show up in the world, here and now, moving forward. At a time where so many people are in a place of confusion and suffering, I'm here to hold space for you, all of you. Love is not divisive. Love is cohesive. Love unites us and strengthens us. And I am choosing love over hate. I choose love when there are thunderstorms, and I choose love when the sun is shining. I choose love fiercely. I am making the conscious choice to exercise self-compassion when I feel sadness, grief, anger, jealousy, and frustration. I choose the same compassion for my fellow Americans who may be experiencing similar negative emotions, even the ones who are choosing hate over love. Because hate is a lonely place. When you reflect hate, there is something in you that feels not good enough, maybe even threatened. There's a lack of self-esteem causing you to think that you have to push someone else down in order to rise to the top. I have news for you. There's room for all of us at the top. And when one of us is a few inches ahead of us, turning around, taking our hands, and helping us climb that mountain, these are the moments that change history. This is the mentality we need for all of us to rise. There's a proverb thought to be African in origin that I love. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with a group. Movements are already sweeping the nation, including the 4B movement, which originated in South Korea. The 4B movement rejects traditional gender roles and patriarchal societal norms. The term 4B refers to four Korean words starting with B and translates to the following: 1, no marriage; 2, no sexual relationships with men; 3, no childbirth or raising children; and 4, no romantic relationships with men. I'm excited about women making choices for themselves to create healthy boundaries. In a time where we may not know where our reproductive rights may fall, I encourage you to take care of yourselves in the best way possible. I had written an article back in July, and I'd like to share it with you given the turn of events this month. I want to share a story, a deeply personal journey that weaves through generations of women in my family. It's a tale about societal expectations, self-awareness, and ultimately empowerment. Let's start at the beginning. My grandmother got married at 9 years old. Yes, you heard that right. 9. Her husband was 14. That marriage marked the abrupt end of her education and the beginning of her journey as a wife. Fast forward a generation to my mother. She married at 20 with a bachelor's degree in education. My father, 10 years her senior, was pursuing his master's degree when they got married. Together, they migrated to Canada, where she worked in a factory. She later on became a nurse. And then there's me. I married my husband, a fellow physician, at age 29. We were equals in education, profession, and ambition. Progress, right? But here's the thing. While we've come a long way, there's still so much work to do. Women have often been treated as someone else's property. We've been handed down from fathers to husbands, often with financial transactions in the form of dowries or bride prices. Even though my wedding didn't involve a dowry, I often joke that I was the dowry because I brought a stable, well-paying career to the table. Now, don't get me wrong, this isn't a flippant comment. It's deeply rooted in reverence for the generations of women before me who endured systemic oppression. But that joke? It's also a reflection of my resolve to break free from those societal constraints. For me, financial independence wasn't just a goal, it was a necessity. I saw early on how critical financial security was for autonomy. It's why I pursued medicine. Well, it's one of the reasons I pursued medicine. I wanted to ensure that I and any future generations wouldn't be trapped in cycles of dependency. But here's where it gets personal, and I'll admit a little uncomfortable because you're going to really see into my mind. About 10 years ago, my husband handed me a book to learn more about financial security. He had already devoured it, highlighted passages, added little sticky tabs, and absorbed its wisdom. He handed me my own copy with the enthusiasm of someone who'd just discovered a treasure map. But what did I do? I judged the book by its cover. I know, every teacher tells you not to do this, but I totally judged the book by its cover. It featured a man in a white coat, a tie, and a crisp white shirt. He looked successful, responsible, everything I didn't feel at the time. I was drowning in student loan debt, far from being financially free. And so I dismissed the book. But worse, I dismissed myself. I didn't see myself as someone who could or should engage with the concept of wealth creation. That was for other people, right? Here's the kicker. I was that person. I was smart, responsible, assertive, and successful. I just didn't recognize it back then. Fast forward a few years, this experience forced me to confront the unconscious biases I carried, not just about myself, but about money, gender roles, and societal expectations. I fell right into the hole, you all. Literally fell right into it. Historically, men have been encouraged to think about wealth creation. Women, not so much. We were taught to save, to clip coupons, to stretch every dollar, but rarely were we taught to create wealth. Why? Because it was assumed that we wouldn't need to. We'd marry someone who'd handle that. Even now, conversations about money can feel taboo for women, and when women earn more than their partners, that's often met with some discomfort or judgment. Listen, you all, it is time to change the narrative. Here's what I've learned. Happiness and security, including financial security, is my responsibility. I navigate the ship of my life. Money isn't good or evil. It's a tool, and we are all capable of learning how to use it effectively. But change starts with awareness. It starts with questioning the beliefs we've absorbed over a lifetime. So ask yourself, does your gender affect how you negotiate your salary? Does it influence how you chose your partner or how you parent your male or female children? Does it shape your role in society? When we identify and challenge these biases, we create space for growth for ourselves and for future generations. If you're ready to take the next step, there are resources out there. I'm going to go ahead and put the link to my article in the show notes. There are some free resources already embedded in there. If you don't already have one, getting a financial advisor can be extremely helpful because at least you can get help that's personalized to you. And then lastly, if you want to work on the mindset surrounding your specific biases, come visit me at iamwellmd.com. Let's work together to break those glass ceilings and create the life that you deserve. I offer individual coaching, group coaching, and I also speak publicly, so don't hesitate to reach out and ask questions. Remember, you are the leader of your life. Let's make it the best of times. Until next time, I'm Dr. Santhi Tanikela. I'm sending you and your families love and support.
Hey, if you like what you're hearing, give this podcast a 5-star rating and share it with your friends and family. If you want to learn more about my mom and what she does, visit her at iamwellmd.com and subscribe to her email list. If you leave her a comment, you might just get a shout out in her next podcast episode. If you'd like coaching or support, she has programs available for you and your whole family. My mom is a great pediatrician and a great person, and I hope you like her podcast episodes. Have a great day. Goodbye.